Counselor, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, so, so I'm starting this video off strong. Like, y'all know me, like, this is through an undercurrent of happiness, joy, bliss. I promise you that. But there's certain things in my life that are happening where I'm like, okay, so first of all, I love vibrancy. As y'all can probably tell, I think that every day should be different. I think that as grounded as you may be, as grounded as you may be, you should be able to bend with the wind and bend with the weather. And I just don't believe that human beings are on this planet to do one thing at a time for like 60 to 80 years, then die. Like, I'm not buying it. It's just, no. I mean, by all means, let having it back, legit. Like, girl, if I want to be free, I want you to be free too, baby. But no. And that sense of vibrancy, that innate sense of vibrancy started off when I was doing my GCSEs in school. For my GCSEs, I took music BTEC, art BTEC, and textiles, you know, like all the 3 art subjects. And as happy as I was during that time, I kind of just felt like I was just like in the same circles, like doing the same thing, and with the same kinds of people. And I don't think anything of value could really come from that. And as different as those things may be on the surface, I just felt like I was just doing the same thing with just different... What's the saying? Is it like same faces, different places or something like that? Like, yeah, it's like, because, you know, it was the same kind of coursework, it was like the same kind of research and creation, just like, it was just a different ribbon, like on each certificate. Like, it wasn't anything different to me. So my A-levels, I changed it up completely. So I love science, I love chemistry. It used to be biology, but then biology and me, we're kind of beefing. And physics, unless you're talking about literally outer space, I'm not interested. So for A-levels, I did English language, psychology, and chemistry for A2. And for AS, I did statistics and IT. And I freaking loved college, I did. I wish that, you know, we were all in a position to like sort of like revel in that time then, but of course, like, being 17, what are you gonna do? But that was the first time in my entire life where I truly felt the energy of people just trying to narrow themselves down for the sake of some higher goal, which is not guaranteed. Of course, I'm speaking from a creative perspective, and I can only speak from like my life, my experiences, and what I think, so hello. But I loved how I could literally be doing that titration, like Monday morning, I could be analysing Milgram in the afternoon, and then like in the evening, I'd be researching like words in a book. Like, it was so interesting to me, I felt like I was just being bent in such different ways, and that's what I love. I can't imagine like doing that chemistry coursework and like wanting a break from it, so to speak, only to then like do maths or physics. Like, that's not really a break, is it? It's like, for me, like, it's kind of the same thing, to be honest with you. It's like, the calculations that you have to do in chemistry, it's like, oh, it's just maths, basically. And physics is basically maths. So like, what's really the difference? And from that point onwards, vibrancy became a mainstay in my life. Not that I'm always looking to do something different, but at the same time, like for example, I'm the kind of person to go to a buffet for a restaurant. I'm the kind of person to go to the pick and mix and like have like one of each every sweet, rather than having like, you know, like half a tub of 2 or 3, like, you know. Even though I don't believe that I'm patient zero, and knowing what I just said, like, when you are outside of these environments, like, you know, if you're studying something for the sake of like a degree or a job, that's one thing. But then once you have that, then isn't it kind of time to like, you know, think about what's happening afterwards, sort of thing, or the next thing, in my opinion. Unless you're doing something that's like quite terminal, you know what I mean? I just don't have the life to where that's even a thing. I know that there are some careers out there where it's like they're only maybe 3 or 4 steps over like a very, very long time. But in a creative career like acting, modeling, being a rapper, musician, tenor, podcaster, like anything creative, there are literally so many micro steps that go into each and everything. Not every step is the same either, to be honest with you. Like YouTuber, for example, like, I didn't know which video will pop up necessarily. I don't know which film will be the one that, you know, if it's the floodgates, like, you don't necessarily know which song will be the best for your fans either. In addition to all that I've said, I clearly think like the minority, I believe. And that's so loaded. And because of that, whenever I do introduce myself to people and like, you know, I'm doing this, that, the other, baby doll, I'm very honest and real with myself. I have to be able to keep staying. Like, if you ask me what I'm doing day to day, then I'll just tell you, oh, I'm doing this. Of course, maybe not gonna have the same conversation with your grandmother as you are gonna have with like your best friend. But at the same time, like, it's just, that's what I'm doing, like, you know? Which is why it's so abrasive when like, people have constructed this idea of like who I should be, which they're not wrong for necessarily. Gosh, that's the same thing. And I already talked about my ICTV if you want to check that out. But basically, yeah. When it comes to your creative career, knowing that like it can be so like scattered sometimes in terms of like what you do and like what it means, what it represents, anything else. Making friends and being on level with people is what it is, I suppose. Which is why I really try hardest to like connect with people outside of all of that. Like, what music do you like? What films do you like? Do you read books? Do you like traveling? Like, you know, all those sorts of things. But, you know, a lot of people are heavily focused like that. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I'm in a position where I feel like I lately have always been, to be honest with you, like, looking back, depending on like the level that I was satisfied with, so to speak. Like, where I can branch out and have other hobbies and interests that have nothing to do with my career whatsoever, or nothing to do with anything. And it's fine either way. All that being said, I believe that it's best for me to have one particular place where I can go to, and you can go to as well, where you can find out about all the creative things that I'm doing, and I can really give homage to the people who have opened doors. Thanks for the opportunities that I've had, and be proud of certain things too. Like, I'm not someone to brag necessarily, but at the same time, I'm really proud of myself for picking myself back up each and every time and like going for things and like throwing myself out there and trying new things and everything like that. So that's why I made my Fangage. Not to say I've had so many opportunities, because I believe that I'm here right now and I feel like I've collected all the say you're gonna like climb Everest, right? It's like, okay, someone gives you a rope. It's like, okay, thank you though. But like, where's my safety helmet? Where are my like climbing gloves? Where are my, you know, my boots? Right, everything else. I feel like I've just gathered all of that in my spirit, and now more than ever, it's time to like, you know what? Thank you much, Lee, and onward, onward, onward. Also, I truly don't want like the things that I do. That's happened a lot actually. Like, I don't want the things that I do to like interrupt the natural flow of things. So for me, it's just like, it just makes so much more sense. I can be so much more intimate. I can be so much more happy and excited about things. It's like, hey, if you want to find out about this, then like, here it is, sort of thing, you know? I've never been so terrified in my entire life, but a very, very clever artist said to me one day, leap before you think. And that's what I'm gonna do. Life is so exciting and things are moving so fast. I'm so happy. I could bounce off the walls literally each and every day. Like, legit, I'm so grateful for the tiniest things. The things. Hey yo, shout out to the Grey and Red and in the OGs. Stop yourself. It's like, you know, I think I chose being an actor over being a YouTuber because of like, I mean, that's the conversation for my Fangage. But TLDR, it's like, you know, yeah, but I love talking about that sort of stuff. Like, I do, like, that's sort of like, I'm like, you know, like, pop music way back when, it's like, I was like, girl, no, she's really so single, and, like, I was that girl. My gosh. Honestly speaking, and I think about, like, my life as it functions today, and I really don't think like I'm that unique compared to a lot of people, to be honest with you. It's like no one wants to say things out their mouth, but and that's really unique to me. But either which anyway. So yeah, I am so excited. Oh my gosh. Now up on here, my gosh. Now, I mean, we will continue to do this. Oh yes, don't quote me, but the Fangage stuff will be every Monday, and everything else would be every Thursday. But are you as excited as I am? Leave a comment down below. Okay, bye. Also, I don't know about y'all, but I like to segment my life as much as possible. I don't do and sleep in the same room, and when I clock off, I clock out. Like, my gosh, I had jobs where it's like, it'd be 3 o'clock, and by 3:01, I'd be like, by 3:01, they'd be like, This number is no longer in service. This number is no longer in service.
And the Oscar goes to...
You Ruben?
Ruben, good day.
You got him?
Put me through to Ruben in the newsroom.
Well done, superstar.
May it please you to subscribe your name?
Thanks for watching.